In this video, I'm going to be talking about JID, a signee of Dreamville, J. Cole's label, and how people think that he has the potential to be a Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole type legendary figure for the rap game, while other people think his numbers shown that he's nowhere near there yet. And I'm going to talk about how important the Forever story is going to be to JID's legacy. With that being said, we're going to start with his backstory, and I hope you enjoy.
Okay, never been shit, never had shit, never knew shit, never out, never do shit, damn, but a nigga never gave two shits.
JID was born on October 31st of 1990. He was the youngest of 7, and growing up he would spend a lot of time with his grandmother, who would always describe him as jittery. Later this would turn into a nickname that she would call him JID, again to describe how he would always be moving around, touching something, doing something as a kid. Eventually this would become JID's rap name, but at the time he was listening to some very early rap groups such as Sly and the Family Stone and Earth, Wind and Fire. Those are some very early rap groups, but not long after, he would move on to Jay-Z, Nas, and Mobb Deep. While JID did always get good grades, it was primarily football that would be the focus of both his high school and college career. In high school, he ended up earning a scholarship, much like one of his older brothers who was actually drafted into the NFL. But for him, he just had dreams of making it to the NFL, and in college, he had a pretty good start to it. Unfortunately, it would end with him being suspended for what he described in one interview as him being popular. In his song General, he would describe it as him hitting a lick with amateurs.
Kicked out of college for tongues, niggas be talking, I wasn't even on camera, just hit the lick with some amateurs.
In his most recent song, 2007, he would double down on that he was stealing books, someone else got caught on camera, and they ended up snitching on the whole group.
I wasn't on camera with them amateurs that they saw, but they said they still caught me and my dog stealing boxes like Craig on his day off.
It is worth mentioning that JID wasn't in the best state of mind during this time in his life because his grandmother had just died before this incident, and after he was thrown into living with his parents again because he didn't have the finances to live on his own. Once he went back to his parents, he decided that he was going to get a neck tattoo because that's what rappers do, and his parents decided that rappers don't live with their parents, so he can go find a place to live. JID would be forced to live in his car for a little amount of time before moving in with Earth Gang, but it's worth noting that this car is the one he's talking about in his song Louder, where he says,
pushing the same piece of shit until I get me a Bentley.
He would also state in multiple interviews that he wanted to stay with that same car until he was able to afford a Bentley, but unfortunately it ended up breaking down and he would have to get another, but I do believe he still has his grandmother's car to this day. As I said before though, he would end up moving in with Earth Gang. Not long after, he would get close enough where he was comfortable joining their rap group Spillage Village, and not long after that he got so close to them that when they got their deal to perform openers, they would allow him to perform one song every time. At one of their concerts, there was an artist backstage named Boz. If you're not familiar with Boz, he's actually signed to the label Dreamville, which once again J. Cole owns. So J. Cole would be in attendance waiting for his artist to perform when he heard Earth Gang and JID perform. He was impressed by this. So impressed that later he would invite them to the studio with him, and he would go on to eventually meet JID's parents, go to JID's house, and of course signing all 3 of them. It's crazy to think about that if Earth Gang didn't get so close to JID that they allowed him to perform one song when they opened, there's a real chance that none of the 3 of them would get signed to Dreamville. But in reality, their generosity to JID would be a decision that changed all of their lives forever. With Dreamville, JID would drop The Never Story, DiCaprio 2, and feature on multiple Dreamville projects. These would get him some good comparisons to some high-level artists, but once again, they wouldn't do great in terms of sales. I think DiCaprio 2 sold better than any of his other projects, and it peaked at 47 on the Billboard Top 100. Right now, I think an easy comparison for JID would be Lamar Jackson and Zion Williamson, where they have all shown clear potential and an ability to be one of the best performers in their sport, but they've also all had very large question marks behind them. With Lamar Jackson, people wonder how well he can actually throw the ball. With Zion Williamson, they wonder if he can put a healthy season together. And with JID, they wonder if he can actually sell albums like the J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar comparisons that he's had. With all of them, there's no clear general consensus for where they belong amongst their peers, and one bad season or album or one great season or album could widely change what their future will look like. With that being said, do you think that JID has a chance to be a legend, or do you think he's going to end up falling far short of that and being one of the rappers that we all forget about? Personally, I'm very comfortable with my money on JID, but let me know what you guys think, and time will tell us what JID really is capable of.